Hello everyone, welcome to Mastermind. Let us learn about Nusantara, the new capital of Indonesia in this video. Nusantara is the new capital of Indonesia. Recently, the Indonesian government has passed a law approving the relocation of its capital from slowly sinking Jakarta to a site 2000 kilometers away on the jungle clad Borneo island that will be named Nusantara. Please follow the map here. This is Jakarta. Here Jakarta is there and here Nusantara is there. So the distance between Jakarta and Nusantara is about 2000 kilometers, roughly 2000 kilometers, and this Nusantara is on the East Kalimantan province of the Borneo island of Indonesia. This is the Borneo island of Indonesia. This is the Borneo island. This part belongs to Indonesia. So here there is Nusantara. So the old capital Jakarta is in the Java island. This is the Java island. Now let us look at the islands of Indonesia. This is the Sumatra island. This is the Java island. This is the Borneo island of the Indonesian part. This is the Sulawesi island, which also belongs to Indonesia. And this is the Papua island. It is also called as Irian Jaya. This also belongs to Indonesia. So we know that Indonesia is an archipelago or group of islands. Now the present capital Jakarta is in the Java island. This is the Java island. Now the new capital Nusantara is in the East Kalimantan province of the Borneo island of Indonesia. This is the Nusantara. The meaning of Nusantara is archipelago. Archipelago. What is archipelago? It means group of islands. Archipelago means group of islands. It represents philosophical, sociological and historical aspects. Now let us look at the two of the most important straits associated with the Indonesian islands. The first is the Malacca Strait. Malacca Strait exists between the Malay Peninsula and the Sumatran islands of Indonesia. Here Malacca Strait exists. This is very important when it comes to maps. So please remember this is the Malacca Strait. So the next very important strait is the Sunda Strait. Sunda Strait exists between the Sumatran and Java islands of Indonesia. That is, here the Sunda Strait exists. This is the Sunda Strait. So when it comes to map work, you will have to remember both Malacca Strait as well as Sunda Strait. Sunda Strait exists between the Sumatra and Java islands of Indonesia, and Malacca Strait exists between the Malay Peninsula and Sumatra island of Indonesia. Malay Peninsula does not belong to Indonesia, it belongs to Malaysia. The next very important thing is Jakarta. Jakarta is present on the northwest of the Java island. They might ask you, so please remember that Jakarta is present on the northwest front of the Java island over here, whereas the new capital Nusantara is present in the East Kalimantan province over here. It is in the Borneo island. Now let us look at the reasons for relocation of capital from Jakarta to Nusantara. The first and foremost reason is overpopulation. Overpopulation. The city is overly populated. Jakarta has been capital of Indonesia since 1949. The city currently houses an overwhelming population of more than 30 million people, which is greater than its carrying capacity. Hence, this overpopulation has caused or has demanded or has made the government to relocate the capital from Jakarta to Nusantara. The second very important reason for the relocation is the unabated pollution. Jakarta has also been extremely polluted over the last few decades. In fact, Jakarta has been polluted extremely. It has been consistently ranked as one of the most polluted cities in the world. So this is why relocation of capital from Jakarta to Nusantara is considered. The next major reason for the relocation is the increased flooding that has been experienced in Jakarta. Jakarta has long been plagued by flooding. This flooding is exacerbated by climate change. This is another important reason. Climate change has also caused this relocation. Experts predict that up to one third of the city could be underwater by 2050. This is also because Jakarta is surrounded by several rivers and these rivers are constantly prone to floods. So, this is another reason, increased flooding. The next reason is unplanned infrastructure. Please remember, unplanned infrastructure. Why is this unplanned infrastructure? Jakarta is the center of administration, governance, finance, and trade. It is the center of administration, finance, trade, etc. This has inevitably led to relentless construction in the city. It has led to relentless construction in the city, which has caused serious infrastructure problems. There is serious infrastructure problems in the city due to which the water is not able to seep into the ground. The water is not able to seep into the ground in many areas, leading to increased runoff. So this runoff has caused severe problems in the city of Jakarta. The next major reason is the financial inequality that is present in the city. On one side, you can find very rich people, very rich communities, and on the other side, you can see downtrodden, poor people. So, this financial inequality that has existed in the city for a long period now has compelled the administration to relocate the capital from Jakarta to Nusantara. Now let us look at the issues associated with the relocation. East Kalimantan region, that is where the Nusantara is located, this region is very rich in flora and fauna. It is very rich in flora and fauna. To put it in other words, it is very rich in biodiversity. Hence, according to the environmentalist, moving the capital from Jakarta to Nusantara, when the capital is shifted from Jakarta to Nusantara, this will lead to massive deforestation. Since this leads to massive deforestation, it is going to be a huge threat to the wildlife present in the island. It is going to be a huge threat to the trees, animals, birds that are present on the Borneo Island or the East Kalimantan region of the Indonesia. Indonesia is not the first country in the world to have its capital relocated. There have been many instances of relocation in the past as well. So let us look at some of the examples now. Brazil. Brazil had its capital shifted in the year 1960 from Rio de Janeiro to Brasilia. Rio de Janeiro to Brasilia. So please remember this. You can give this as an example in descriptive answers. Brazil shifted its capital from Rio de Janeiro to Brasilia in the year 1960 as Brasilia was a centrally located city. It was a more centrally located city, hence the shifting of capital took place. In the year 1991, Nigeria relocated its capital from Lagos to Abuja. Lagos to Abuja. So whereas in the year 1997, Kazakhstan also had its capital shifted. Kazakhstan shifted its capital from Almaty, which is a commercial center even now, to Nur Sultan. To Nur Sultan in the year 1997. Almaty is a commercial center even now. But now the capital is Nur Sultan for Kazakhstan. Next example of relocation is that of Malaysia. Malaysia moved its government to Putrajaya. So it moved its government seat of government to Putrajaya from Kuala Lumpur.